Hey guys, happy Sunday. We are back with part two of Sebastian Rogers' missing child's case from Hendersonville, Tennessee. So, if you have not watched part one from last night, I encourage you to go ahead and do so. Keep in mind, guys, I am brand new to this case, which blows my mind because I do live in the state of Tennessee, 3 hours away from Hendersonville, and I have never heard of this. Shame on you, Tennessee. Do better. In this video, I want to start diving into the timeline that I've come across. In the last video, just to summarize, I had just watched the very first interview that Sebastian's parents, Katie Proudfoot, and stepdad, Christopher Proudfoot, had done as their first TV appearance after their son was found to be missing. This time I want to go into, like I said, the timeline that I have found, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I did see some clips of interviews and things done with Seth Rogers, who is Sebastian's biological father, and that's what I'm going to be touching on in the next episode. For those of you that don't know, Sebastian Roberts, y'all, I need to wake up. Sebastian Rogers was 15 when he went missing. He did turn 16 in December of 2024. He is a white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and black square-framed glasses. Sebastian is stated to have medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. Prior to going missing, Sebastian had last spoken to his biological father, Seth Rogers, on February 22nd. He did live in the home with his mother, again, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot. After spending the day with his mom, as his stepdad was out of town in Memphis, Tennessee on a work project, Sebastian arrived home around 8 p.m. He took out the trash to the curb and lay down for bed around 9 p.m. His mother, Katie, was on the phone with her husband, Christopher, at 10 p.m., and at around midnight, Christopher told Katie to go to bed after she fell asleep on the couch. This does raise questions with me, and maybe some of you guys who are more familiar with this case have already heard about this, but if he was in Memphis and they were on the phone as of 10 p.m., exactly how long did this phone call last? How long was Katie up after putting Sebastian to bed? And how did the stepdad, Christopher, know Katie fell asleep on the couch unless she was falling asleep while on the phone call? And when did Katie officially go to bed that night? On February 26th, Monday, Katie went to wake Sebastian up for school around 6 a.m. At 6:03, she called Christopher to tell him that Sebastian was missing. She drove around the neighborhood, checked in places that she thought he may be hiding, and then she informed Christopher again that she could not find him. His response was, "What do you mean you can't find him?" Christopher called the police or the sheriff's department to report him missing, but I have heard statements. Katie called, Christopher called, and then I heard that they both called. So around 6:40 a.m., Chris called and sent messages to Sebastian's bio dad, Seth Rogers, to let him know that Sebastian was missing. Seth didn't get off work until around 7 a.m., and he noticed the calls and messages around 7:20. Once he spoke to Chris and found out what was going on, he immediately headed to Katie and Chris's home, where he arrived around 8 a.m. and continued to stay for the remainder of the day. At 9:49 a.m., Sumner County Sheriff's Office issued an endangered child alert, and on their behalf, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations issued one as well around 11:17 a.m. At 4:35 p.m., the TBI issued another alert urging residents near Beach High School and along Long Hollow Pike to check their outbuildings, garages, and cars in case Sebastian was hiding. Sumner County reiterated this request again in a statement made around 8:40 p.m. On Tuesday, February 27th, an Amber Alert was issued based upon additional investigative information developed during the search for Sebastian. Colder temperatures added urgency to the search, and by the end of that day, Searchers reported covering over 2,000 miles on foot and thoroughly searching Sebastian's home multiple times. On Wednesday, February 28th, Sumner County stated there was no evidence to suspect foul play and that the parents had been cooperative thus far. Thursday, the 29th, they drained a pond east of Sebastian's home, but no evidence was found. At this point, several tips had been received, but none of them were confirmed sightings, and residents were asked to check their surveillance cameras. Friday, March 1st, a dive team from Franklin, Tennessee, assisted in the search for Sebastian following a request for aid from Sumner County. March 2nd, an anonymous group of Nashville business owners offered a $3,000 reward for any information leading to the return of Sebastian Rogers, and this later increased to $3,500. March 4th, the search was scaled back as initial leads had been exhausted, and on March 7th, a search was conducted at the Hopkins County Regional Landfill in White Plains, Kentucky, as what was stated to be a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions, but again, no evidence was found. On Friday, March 15th, TBI released another statement order to preserve the integrity of the investigation. They cannot discuss many of the specifics surrounding the case, but they do know how many people care about Sebastian and what has been done and is still being done to bring him home. They also caution the public about putting too much stock into information being presented in various media forms that is not accurate or complete and could be damaging to the investigation. Thursday, March 21st, acting on a tip, Seth organized a search in Natchez Trace State Park, approximately 100 miles from Sumner County. Despite thorough efforts, the search did not yield new information. I've actually went camping there a couple of times. On March 22nd, the TBI released a statement that much of the work being done to track down information about where Sebastian may have gone is not something you will necessarily see in the public, but we want you to know that every day work is being done to find him. Special agents and intelligence analysts continue to go over and review information that has been collected since the search begun. They also to continue follow up on tips and leads as they come in. To date, more than 240 tips have been provided. On March 23rd, the United Cajun Navy, a volunteer search and rescue organization, joined the search efforts for Sebastian, but on the 29th, they withdrew from the search, citing threats made to volunteers as the reason for suspending operations. On April 2nd, Eric Craddock Presser states investigations ongoing with local and federal resources, encouraging community to stay vigilant, no matter how small you may think it is. We understand anxiety and concern caused in the community, and we are doing everything we can despite the passage of time. The TBI states that he has not been forgotten. No one has given up looking for him. They talk about vast land search, air search, ponds. Even though this search isn't viable, the search is not done. Good old-fashioned police work. We are working with other jurisdictions on complex cases, trying to get advice. FBI and Secret Service have been helpful with reviewing, and the parents have been cooperative. They've done pretty much everything we have asked. Right now, they don't have leads to lead criminal investigation. Cautioning again on social media on what they share. They want people to use caution so that it doesn't damage investigation. There's no evidence of foul play, but they aren't ruling it out. Nothing's been found to lead us to Sebastian. And when asked about if mom and dad have been ruled out or if their alibi has been verified, they say they have been nothing but cooperative. Let's see. April 3rd, TBI joining investigators with Sumner County and surrounding counties to conduct another thorough search in the Long Hollow Pike area. April 17th, Sebastian's father, Seth, hired a private investigator to assist in the search for his son. May 7th, authorities confirmed that a teenager photographed in North Carolina was not Sebastian despite earlier speculation. On May 21st, Sebastian's dad, Seth, called for the FBI to take over the investigation, expressing concerns about the case becoming a cold case. August 26th, FBI Memphis Field Office Nashville Resident Agency announced the offer of a reward up to $50,000. And then in December, they did state that the case is not considered cold. It is active and an ongoing investigation. Stay tuned because we're going to talk a little bit more about this in depth. I realize that's a lot of information. That's a big overload. But I really want to get down to the nitty gritty of all of this. Me coming into this after it's been, coming up on exactly a year, there is so much that has happened, so many things that have been said, so many things that have been done. It's a lot that I'm going to have to go through. A lot. But I do want to make sure that light is consistently put on this case. I know there are YouTube creators and TikTok creators that are talking about it, looking into it, etc. But me being in the state of Tennessee, I want to make sure that people in this state are aware of this case because, like I said, I haven't heard of it until yesterday, which is really weird to me. Now, this timeline stops at December of 2024. So obviously, we have the whole month of January and what we've gone through so far of February. I'm not sure how much information has been put out this year thus far. We are still early into the year. There are other interviews that I want to watch. It seems like there's a whole lot of conflict and drama between the bio dad and the mom and stepdad. Still get weird vibes from the stepdad, but very early on. So we'll see if I continue to feel that way. As always, feel free to share your thoughts, comments, feelings, etc. in the comments. And if you have a resource that you want me to go look at as far as some factual good information, definitely let me know because look, we are in this together. I will be planning a live sometime this week and I will have an open panel. So feel free to come up and discuss. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a great Sunday and stay tuned for part 3 where we dive into Seth Rogers, the bio dad, Sebastian's biological father. All right, y'all. I'm still half asleep, so I'm going to hop off of here. I hope you guys have a great day. Love your face. Bye.